Hey, people. Listen, welcome in the building, people. Welcome in the building. I'm so glad to see y'all. Glad you're here. Listen, we got stuff to talk about. We got stuff to talk about. The title tonight on Friday night, so thank y'all for hanging out with me on a Friday night, is called What Really Happened. What really happened? So we got this Corey Holcomb. He is a comedian and he got caught putting his hands on another comedian, and this other comedian is a female. I don't know where the tables turned, where men felt like it's okay to be putting their hands on females, but it's crazy. And he at first denied it until some video footage appeared with him actually doing what she said he did. So we're going to talk about that tonight. Like, what really happened? What prompts a man to get so mad at somebody, and especially a lady, and going to just cold clock her out? Bananas. So another person had to jump in and help her. It's just crazy work. But we're going to talk about it. Then we got Djimon Hounsou. We talked about him the other day. And when we talked about him, we just had part of the story. He wanted her to get out. She didn't want to get out. And then, he said that she put her hands on him. Well, she got audio footage, audio tape. And on the audio, you hear them going back and forth. Then towards the end, you hear something. I don't know what this something is. But the thing I really wanted to talk about and discuss is that what I heard was they were separated for 2 years, but she was still living in his house and going in the streets doing what she wanted to do. And then she got mad when he said totally for once and for all, get out. Now, is there some technicalities because she was living there? And can you just put a person out of your house when they're living there? You absolutely cannot. You absolutely cannot. But guess what? She, in my opinion, if somebody tells me to get out and my deed or my name is not on that paperwork, guess what? I'm not going to wait off of no technicality. I'm going to find my way out of that house. So she was going on vacation, going somewhere. Instead of you going on vacation, she should have been securing herself a home. But we're going to talk about it. And then, I always give it the side eye when someone wants to secretly record what's going on with y'all. Because, of course, they're going to remain as calm as possible. Why? Because they know they're recording. But if they didn't know they was recording or it was being recorded, would they have had the same calmness? Messy is all I can say. And then, we're going to talk about this deadly wedding trip. Young man goes to, a wedding, in Mexico. And now all of a sudden he's gone. Too much shady stuff happened at Mexico. And a lot of it is happening on the resorts. Usually they tell you kind of safe if you're on a resort. Well, there has been plenty of stories over on here that we talked about where people are at these resorts and all of a sudden they're gone. And Mexico act like they ain't got to give us no answers. What is the young lady's name? Cabo 6. Remember her? Nobody ever, to my knowledge, paid for what happened to her. And I'm talking about in a justice type of way. I'm talking about by going to jail. And Mexico didn't seem to want to give us no answers. They gave us one answer, then took it back, then turned this around, and nobody ever got arrested. I don't think I'm going on vacation in Mexico. I think it's going to be a no for me. But anyway, guys, y'all know what time it is. It's Friday night. We got stuff to talk about, and I'm ready to bring the people in the building. So I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Friday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called What Really Happened. Corey Holcomb, did you really put your hands on somebody? A female? A lady? Are you serious? We got Djimon Hounsou. We got the audio now. and we got this deadly wedding trip. Let me bring the people on in the building so we could talk about this. Hey, my opinion.
Hey, Diva Choo Choo.
Hey,
Hey,
Ju.
y'all, hit the like button for the diva.
Hey, Callie.
Hey y'all.
Hey. Listen, I'm gonna start with this Corey Holcomb story. When I saw this story, it was shocking to me, and I'm like, did he really do that? Is he really serious? But apparently and unfortunately, he is. Let me share your screen so we can get more into the story. Hold on one second. Mm. Okay, this is it. Oh no, here it is. Hold on. Tara, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Much love. All right, guys, my computer being real slow today. So can you hear me? Cristina Payne on Corey Holcomb. He had a pow pow before he punched me, she said. Coming through there. There we go. Let's take a listen to her talk to Harvey from TMZ.
Filed a police report. It went nowhere. What are you going to went to court? It went nowhere. What are you going to do now that there is a video that seems to support at least the fact that you were punched by Corey?
It is hard even seeing that right now. Seeing that playback and having to relive all of this all over again. But it's like almost like what.
I mean, what I'm asking is, are you going to pursue legal action again? The cops felt it was like a stalemate when it happened because they had no video. Now they got video. So I'm wondering, are you over it, or are you going to pursue this in court?
I feel like it's.
What's the difficult? What's making this so difficult, Cristina, to go forward with it?
I feel like Corey's like threatened or tried to silence me, or like where it's like I've been in fear for my life, literally. Not able to leave the house sometimes, and so I mean,
I know you say you're in fear for your life. We mentioned the fact that he got a restraining order against you.
We have a restraining order against each other.
And you have one against him as well.
Confused the judge, and we didn't have the video yet. So we literally got the video the day after court, literally. So I never went back to pursue like, oh, let me get an appeal or nothing like that. Like my attorney literally kind of gave up after she was getting defamed in her character and everything. You can see on his how horrible he would speak about me and her. And literally it's horrible, like the way he treats women, the way he talks about us, and then to the point where it's like, really, like you're gonna hit me because I'm telling God and like you need to change your ways, and you know, it's just horrible. Like and then I'm just disappointed in how nothing was done into the police station like so many times, and the LA fires were the excuse every time, or no detectives were ever available, ever, for some reason.
Well, but the video changes things. I mean, you know, when it's just your word against his word, it's a stalemate. Now you have the video. So that's why and if you don't want to answer, I'll respect that and back off. But that's why I'm wondering, are you going to go back to the police now, especially since you have mutual restraining orders? And are you going to say, look at this?
Yeah, who needs the restraining order? I'm the one who's getting punched.
Well, Harvey, what would you advise?
Oh, I don't want to do that. Because you know, I'm not going, I don't know all the facts. And I will tell you this. The one question I really do have is, and I don't think there's any justification for what he did, because all you're doing when we see the video is talking back and forth.
Roasting, and that's what happens in front of the Improv every Monday for the past 30 years. And we stand out there and roast, but everybody knows in the hood, whoever wants to fight or cry first loses. And he literally lost it.
Well, now he's sad that you went after him first and it's not seen in the video.
Right. What he actually wrote in his restraining order is that you put hands on him
but
before this video started.
First, so of course he has to like create some crazy story, you know, but basically at the end of the day, he put his hands on me and I didn't do anything to him. I didn't, nothing. But also what that video is not showing is the minutes before that. That video really needs to start from when I walk out there initially instead of cut right there, because there's a gun involved that he passed off to another female comedian and was like, oh, go put that up for me before he hit me. So literally, I am fighting with my mouth for my life, roasting this dude, but in the name of Jesus, okay? So I literally said, like, leave me alone. Like, you didn't learn from the last time you tried to, you know, say, he said, I'm a super sock this beat. That's what he said initially 6 months prior to that hit. So he finally did what he had been saying he was gonna do. He threatened me in June of 2024, before this hit happened in December of 2024. And there's witnesses for that as well. So that's why.
Cristina, what started back in June? What started this beef between you? Was it just a roasting that somebody that?
Well, he literally jumped into a conversation I was having with another comedian, and we were having this conversation with that comedian because of what he was doing to another female comedian, making her uncomfortable. So when that guy went off, and you know, I clown him to silence, but later he's my friend, so I'm like leaving. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna see you tomorrow, friend, you know, on some like, but he literally was on silence and then stood over by Corey Holcomb, and then Corey Holcomb goes, he ain't gotta say you bitch. And he jumps in my conversation with my friend. So that's how that whole thing started that way in like June of 2024. But there's history going back from like 12, 15 years ago on my radio. So
You had said a few minutes ago that the video, you saw that you got the video just a day after the court hearing for the restraining order.
Yes.
So you have this video. Do you have the longer version where you see somebody brandishing a gun?
Well, that's the thing, is that it was literally sent to my attorney where it's cut right, like after he were to pass it off or something like that. So it's like, they're not showing the whole video. And that's what I'm saying. We need the whole video, like from the front when I walk out there initially, like 12:35 or something when I had to, and I was waiting for my car to pull up. My car was arriving soon or whatever. Right. It's like, that was only a matter of like 8 minutes or something like that of time, but they're literally showing right at the 3 minute mark or something like that. And
right,
not the whole complete video. But
we got it.
after, if you look back towards the end, you'll see that that person goes back to go get wherever she hid it from. And you know what I'm saying? So it's
okay.
Well,
Well,
it seems like the
we want to
full
see the full video.
Yeah, is going to tell this story.
Thank you so
Cristina,
much.
thank you so much.
I feel like they was really insensitive to her. It was a little messy for me, but anyway. Comic Cristina Payne says comedian Corey Holcomb is threatening her and making her fear for her life. And she got emotional watching a video that appears to show Corey punching her square in the face. I'm going to show that video in a minute. Hold on one second. Cristina joined TMZ Live Friday, and she got emotional when asked about her surveillance video from the alleged Hollywood street brawl finally surfacing. Because when this first happened back in December of last year, he denied it. But now, you know, here's footage where you clearly see that it happened. It's no sound, just so you gotta watch. Oh my gosh. So sad. The raw emotions flowed as soon as we asked Cristina if she was going to take this video to the police or a lawyer. She told us she's afraid to even leave her house these days, claiming Corey has her running scared. Cristina says the video shows Corey socking her in the face after she roasted him outside Hollywood Improv. She says the roasts are a weekly ritual outside the comedy club, but she says this portion of surveillance footage picks up before a key element. A pow, she claims Corey passed off to another comic. As we told you, Cristina filed a battery report with LAPD, but Corey was never arrested, and he attempted but failed to get a temporary restraining order against her, claiming Cristina put hands on him first, while his back was turned to her. When we first reported on the incident, when it happened back in December 2024, but the video is only just now surfacing, which is why we wanted to see if it would change things for Cristina moving forward. Frankly, she seems pretty traumatized by it all, and we watched the video, which is super sad. And I felt like they could have been a little bit more sensitive to her. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So the problem is these men are not sensitive to it because they don't have to go through it. Imagine somebody that amount of height and stuff punching a woman. The damage that it would do. I really hate that these people feel like that's what they got to do, cold cock a woman. They wouldn't cold cock a man like that, but they will hold off and knock a woman out like she a man. He was all mad because of a roast and did this to a woman. How simple-minded are you? And I hated that Harvey and them went the way that they went because it was very sexy, very insensitive, and they had no emotion. It was just like they was victimizing her all over again.
Thank you. In my opinion, Julius, your thoughts?
I got to give it to the crowd. Because when he raised that hand.
No, you know what, Julius? She was on, just let me give you some more information. She was actually on Tasha K. No, the crowd was actually helping him. They was trying to jump on. There was one guy that jumped in on her defense, and they were all helping him, and they jumped on that guy. Yeah, it looks like the crowd was helping her, but she and the guy that helped her was on Tasha K right before I did my show. You should go back and watch her on
Oh
Tasha
my
K. Yeah.
God.
No, it's
That
it's
then
so
that whole
different.
crew is punkish.
Yeah,
Punkish.
yeah. Thank you, Julius. Savannah, your thoughts? I don't know. Savannah, are you there? Okay, we might have lost Savannah. Callie, your thoughts?
Okay, I'm going to tell you why they had that reaction. My experience with the DA's department, which Harvey used to work for here in LA, if you
Mm,
do not have serious injuries, they don't care. Go sue them.
mm,
And if you ask them, they will deny it. They go, oh no, we take the case to court. Da, 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 da. I'm telling you right now, unless he had an extensive record or she was seriously injured, they were not going to do anything to him.
mm,
I have been involved in cases like this. I was a witness to a case like this when I was 18 years old. I went to court. The guy got a couple of months of anger management, and that was it.
mm,
Unless you are seriously injured, they don't care. They feel like, well, you just got your feelings hurt. But I think that the bigger problem is that we have created an environment where we allow comedians and rappers to monetize disrespecting women, and then
mm,
we're shocked when we see them hitting women. What do you think that these men are doing to women? Look at the way they talk about them. And we have created a whole like industry around the disrespect of women. And I'm not saying anybody on this panel, but I'm saying a large amount of our society that we live in has been entertained by this industry. They have defended this industry when people have spoke out against it and saying it should stop. I remember being a kid and people saying that this stuff don't need to be in this music. These comedians should not be talking about these women like this. Oh no, shut up. It's respectability politics. They have freedom of speech. Well, guess what? These are the type of men that you're empowering. I'm not shocked. I did for a second think Corey was just like a harmless comic because I don't really follow him like that. I just hear about him every now and then if he's on the blog. But I have heard some really crazy things about him today when I got a download on this dude. This is the thing. In my opinion, you might as well just assume that these men that are on podcasts, in rap songs, or in comedy clubs, talking about women, calling women out of their names, that this is what they are doing. Because it typically is. And I'm sorry for this lady. I really wish that they would lock him up because he should be locked up. And this woman actually does look like she's older than him as well. And I don't believe she hit him first. I don't believe it. He would have to provide me proof. But even if she did at the time when he hit her, that wasn't self-defense. Corey needs to be in jail. But I'm hoping that he has the same fallout that Diddy had, and this is the end of Corey.
mm, mm. Thank you, Callie. Savannah, your thoughts?
Hi, Diva. I apologize. I don't know what happened in the last one. I agree wholeheartedly with Callie. Corey Holcomb is one of those problematic, disrespectful type of comedy that I don't find funny. But that's how he got famous. That's his style. And this is what he typically talks about is his complete disrespect, complete disregard for women, whether it is in being his woman or just I don't know. I've never really liked Corey. I'm not surprised by this. I think this is um it's just that he got caught on video, but I've always thought that he was a user on women. And he's a big dude. That is a big dude. So for him to strike at her, I'm pretty sure she must have got some type of um, bruising or something on her face. And kudos to the men that stepped in. Um, because typically when we see these videos, the other men they're just standing around and not doing anything. So kudos to them for at least stepping in.
Savannah, just so you know, only one man stepped in.
Only
And
one?
Yeah, and then the rest of them was getting on the man that stepped in. Yeah, she was just on Tasha K. You got to go back later on today, watch the Tasha K interview. She was just on there. Only one man stepped in.
Oh wow. I just seen a bunch of them take him down because he is a big dude. So I'm figuring that they all came in and you know try to calm him and get him together. I really hope that this is something that will cancel him. But like Callie said, this is in Corey Holcomb's show. I think it's called 5150. I've seen it years ago when he was involved in some other mess. This is how he speaks. It's how he talks, and what it's it's what his audience likes. And I don't think that it should, but I don't believe it will. I honestly don't, because this is his type of comedy, and this is what he's known for.
Whew, Katrina, your thoughts?
Look at my voice, y'all.
Oh my God, girl!
I know.
You can't girl, rest that voice and hang out in the background.
I'm trying.
Go rest that voice. You cannot. We're not going to destroy your voice on here. Put your commentary in the comments. Do not strain your voice anymore, girl. Heal your voice, Katrina.
The nurse has spoken.
Yeah, we love you, girl. Heal your voice. Goodbye.
I love y'all too.
Love you back. We'll be praying for you. Yes. All right. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and roll right into this next story. Djimon Hounsou, the audio came out. I always will give it sideways when somebody is recording you and you don't know. To me, I feel like they always have a little hidden agenda, and I really don't like that. So she recorded him. He didn't know, but she knew. And, now the recording is out. And I think she was trying to secure her a place for her to stay. But at the end of the day, when you're in someone else's home, that is problematic. Let me see. Let's play this. So TMZ, Djimon Hounsou and baby mama's tense argument recorded. And so we're going to listen to the audio.
Can I have my set of keys, please? So that I can have access to the property? This is still legally my residence and my kids are here, so I do need a set of keys to access my residence. Djimon? Hello?
I'll get it to you later.
I'm actually having to leave now and I won't be here later, so if you don't mind, I would need the keys. Do you give me the keys so I can access the property where I live and my kids are? There's a process. I don't have a problem moving, but you cannot lock me out of a home in which I live.
You come in every day to the garage.
Okay, so that's how but you just said in the text that you're changing, so how am I gonna be able to access it? So how am I gonna be able to access?
After the rest of the days and week to figure it out.
But I'm asking you for the keys to a property in which I live at and my kids are in. So I'd like the keys to the property, please, so that I can still live here and sleep here. There's a legal process in which you have to go through. So until that process happens, you cannot deny me legally, you cannot deny me access to the property in which I'm legally still a resident at, Djimon. Do you know that?
You still have access.
I don't, because I'm leaving and you just told me this morning that you're changing the access. Okay, and I will not be back this week. So that's what I'm saying. I will need to be able to access my residence when I come back. So let me just let you know what that's going to look like, because I don't want to embarrass the family. I don't want to embarrass the property with our neighbors. I'm going to come back. I'm not going to have access to the property. I will have to call the police. The police will ask me to prove that I'm a resident here. They will require you to give me access to the premises, and they'll tell you the due process. But I don't want to bring the police to the property. It's not a good look, and we don't need to do it. Okay, so go ahead, and if you would please give me my keys back to the resident. Listen to what I'm saying, Djimon. I am leaving now. I'm leaving in about an hour. I will not be back for some time. So if you could give me the keys now so that we can handle this the right way.
You are one bitter.
I'm not bitter, and we're not divorced. We were never married. I'm not bitter.
Because the way you've been treating and disrespecting me.
We're not divorced. We're not divorced. We were never married. Can I please have the keys to my residence? Can I please have the keys to my residence? It's not an issue. There's no issue between us.
There's no issue. You still have access to the garage.
Listen to what I'm saying. And you're changing the garage access. I'm not going to be here this week. Can I please have my keys and we can move on? So can I please have the keys?
You have access to the garage.
Listen to what I'm saying, Djimon. I'm leaving this week and I'm not going to be coming back for at least a few weeks. So I need my keys to the residence in which I live at. I don't want to have to bring the police here. That's going to be embarrassing, and it's not necessary that we even do that.
I'll leave your keys
Huh?
I'll leave your keys on the table.
But
okay?
I'm leaving.
Get the hell out of my way.
In the next hour.
Yes, if all they come up.
And I will, but I need the keys to my residence now before I leave.
You have to move.
This is my residence. I've been living here for 4 years. This is my residence. I've been living here for 4 years. If you would please give me the keys before you leave, so that I don't have to encumbrance you later on, and I don't have to embarrass the house.
Wearing my clothes and all that. You have some nerve.
Djimon, I don't want to bring the police back here later. That's embarrassing.
I'll leave your keys to the table. Get the out of my
Can you
face.
please give me the keys now? I'm not going to be here for them later. That's what I'm telling you.
I will leave you.
Listen to what I'm saying.
I heard what you
I'm not going to be here. Okay, well, I need the keys to the residence. I cannot leave. My kids are here.
Djimon Hounsou, baby mama, is calling BS on the report he made to cops, and she's got audio. She says her calm and cool while he tried to kick her out of their shared home. Riza Marie recorded her conversation with Djimon prior to her arrest for assault, telling us she was heading to Miami on a trip to get away from the tension in her relationship when she got a text from Djimon demanding she vacate the property. Despite separating about 2 years ago, now 2 years separation, you should have been gone. Marie says the two have been living together until December the 2nd, when she says he took her keys and wouldn't give them back. Listen to the clip, which we did. Marie repeatedly asked for her keys back, telling Djimon he doesn't have the right to boo her from her residence, and explaining she'll call the cops if he keeps refusing. While it's hard to hear Djimon in much of the recording, there are moments where he seems to vent his frustrations, even referring to her as a bitter effing divorced person before yelling at her to get out. Riza tells us she was standing in the door of Djimon's G-Wagon during this argument, keeping the door from closing by standing in it. She claims Djimon kept trying to close the door on her, so she put her arm out to block the door from hitting her, and insists she never thought she hit him or that he was injured. After their argument, Riza says she went to her room to get away from Djimon, and when he threw her keys under the door, he then left to make a report to Atlanta cops, Riza says. In the last text, Djimon has no issue with the kids staying, but Riza isn't welcome in the home anymore. And he says he plans to change the security system in the garage code. So he says, hello, as we are now in December, I need to address several important matters. I have now spent a year and a half living out of a suitcase, and it has become urgent for me to establish a stable, safe, and peaceful home environment for the children and myself. I am moving forward with my steps necessary to make that happen. You have chosen not to sign the paternity documents, and I respect that is your decision. However, I also need to address ongoing issues in the residence, including the use of my personal belongings, such as wine, champagne, clothing, and underwear without my permission. This has made the living situation uncomfortable and unsustainable. Additionally, the disruptive and alarming intrusions that occur during the early hours of the morning, around 3 to 4 and 4 a.m., are creating an environment that is neither safe nor conducive to rest for the children and me. This cannot continue. Beginning of this first of this week of December, the security system in the garage gate opener will be changed. I will also be moving into the master bedroom. The children are, of course, welcome to live here comfortably until you have arranged your own accommodations. You may visit them at your convenience, but visits will need to take place outside of my residence. Thank you for understanding. Worth noting, Rizza tells us she plans to present the audio to defend herself in court. She says, my only intention for my family has always been privacy, respect, and healthy communication. Djimon is not my enemy. He is the father of my two beautiful toddlers. I have consistently aimed to support, empower, and collaborate with him, both within and beyond our relationship. She continues, it's devastating when a family unit is torn apart, as the children ultimately suffer the most. I have made many attempts to engage in healthy communication and foster unity with the hope of moving our family forward in a productive and peaceful way. I sincerely hope we can find a place of balance and unity in the near future, not only for my own peace, but for the well-being of our beautiful son and daughter. We reached out to rest for Djimon. So far, no word back. Ooh, child, what a mess, what a mess, what a mess. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So you know what? This sound like somebody that was trying to stick somebody up. I'm just gonna say it like it is.
Mm-hmm,
Um, if somebody tell you to get out their house, just get out their house. He clearly was telling her she evicted. The kids can stay. She gotta go. This man ain't obligated to take care of you forever. Let me tell you something. You better believe that man the first time when he tell you he done with you.
mm,
Um, I don't know what this supposed to prove, other than he changed the law and he gave her a notice that come the 1st of December, all of it was gonna be changed. So she was asking for some keys. He said, your keys on the table. Evidently, you wasn't gonna get no keys to the house. He said, my kids can stay there. Okay, you gonna have to conduct business elsewhere. Okay, so yeah, that was your notice and your eviction. Sorry you didn't get the memo.
Julius, yeah. Sorry you didn't get the memo. You know, this is me just reading in between the lines. I feel like she was doing what she wanted to do those whole 2 years while living with him. And said they were separated and thought that was going to last forever. No, baby girl, you got to go. Julius, your thoughts? Yeah, he over her.
Like the song says, tired of ya. He was tired of her ish. But I gotta give him credit. And this is why. It wasn't until the very end when he started to lose his patience, like, get out of my house. Get out of my house. He was very calm. We heard his voice. He was very calm. He's like, your key is on the table. We all heard that. But you will not be in my residence. This is my residence. My kids are be able to be here. You are not. He, as the owner, can say, you cannot be here. And she's doing herself no favor. She said, we weren't married. Oh, boo boo, you don't got no claim or no deed. None at all. Now, you probably would have been in a better position if you was married, but you and him were just in a relationship. Therefore, it was only his name on the deed. So therefore, he could say yea or nay to who is in his house as the head of household. And you and him separated in 24. No, if it was 2 years, 2023. And he finally decided, I need my peace. I need a healthy environment for the children. The shenanigans that's going on at 3 a.m. early in the morning is not conducive to a healthy environment. You got to go. Now we all uplift the ladies when they say that, but we also got to uplift the men when they say that too.
Mm. Savannah, your thoughts?
So what I heard was game over. So this recording did nothing to support this woman's argument about whatever this man was she was claiming that Dijon was doing. He clearly stated for a year and a half he has been removing himself from the situation to avoid any unfavorable publicity because he knew that the moment that he pushed her, laid his hands on her, or did something, that she was going to run to the media and create this whole scandal and madness that he just did not need. And he stated, I've been living out of a suitcase for a year and a half. And just like in this recording, she prevented him from leaving by blocking the Mercedes door. And clearly she's been trying to entice and entrap this man for a year and a half. 2 years. He's done. Game over. I don't know why women their self-esteem is so low. What do you need? I'm not sure what women need to make it clear that this man wants nothing to do with you. He clearly stated, "I'm going to take care of my kids. My kids are fine and free to roam around this place as much as they want to." But her, this was toxic. It was abusive. It was just not a place where they can coexist as adults to provide a stable environment to their children. So I think this recording strengthens his position and makes
Mhm.
her look desperate, weak, manipulative, sneaky. I just don't like it. I think it's low and just dirty handed what she's trying to do. And I don't even know her. I don't know what she looked like, how she met, what I don't know anything about her, but this makes her look bad, and it supports that he's been trying to remove himself from whatever situation they're in, and she's constantly trying to entrap this man.
Mm, 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 mm. Disgusting. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, this sounds like a typical situation where you have a man, an older man, because I think he's probably significantly older than her, because he's got to be well in his 50s. And if she got little
Mm,
babies, she probably at the most in her 30s. You have
mhm,
this older man who he was cool to take care of
61.
you. Okay. He was cool to take care of you as long as you was in that house taking care of them kids and you didn't have no other man and you wasn't out running around. She don't know that game. I think that probably she was either looking for another guy or seeing another guy and he was like, okay, you got to go and you got to leave my kids here. And I honestly think that that's what this is. It doesn't really sound like he really has been living at this house because he probably traveled. I think he still acts and stuff. He might even have another house somewhere else. But this sounds like the typical arrangement that a lot of these baby mamas have with these wealthy men. They're willing to do extra. They're willing to take care of you because they know if they had to pay a nanny, they would have to pay her too. So they willing to just take care of the mama. Fine. But they're not going to do it if you got some other man or you're not taking care of the kids or you're out running around. So I think she knew she was about to get put out. That's why she was recording him. She's trying to come up with some Hail Mary because she probably has nowhere to go. And to me, I look at this like he is a little too old to be dealing with stuff like this. I don't even know how he got himself in this type of situation. You should be dealing with somebody. If you are established, then you need to get somebody that's kind of on your same level. And, if your kids are a little older, you probably want to get somebody whose kids are a little older. So you're not 50 some years old fighting over some toddlers. So he got some fault in this too. But yeah, she needs to go on with her life. I don't know what's gonna happen with those kids. I don't know if they really are gonna give her those kids because if she ain't got nowhere to go, probably not.
She got herself in the pickle. Wayne, your thoughts?
As much as I sympathize with him, it ain't happening like you thinking it. You can't just put somebody out. If she got mail coming there, anything, you just can't put them out. It's like, I think Mama Duke's in the comments has said, and I was thinking the same thing too. You need to go through the legal process. This is his fault. He should have been down to the courthouse 30 days ago to have her evicted. Because if they got an altercation and the police came, guess who's going? He's going downtown. And guess who ain't leaving the house? She ain't. Grant, I know if it was me, I'd be pissed off too. Want her out. But it's the way you got to do stuff. And if the cops come, regardless, she is not going nowhere. Whether she's on the deed, rental agreement, or what. If she lives there, they need, I think most states, like about 30 days for an eviction. So yeah, I sympathize with him. And I think, like Savannah said, I think she wants to provoke him because I think she done her homework and she knows she ain't got to leave that house. And she probably has no intentions of leaving. You're going to make me wait. You're going to go on vacation. And did she say she's going to stay a couple of months or whatever? So
A couple of months.
So I got to wait till you come back? No. I understand that. But if she ain't got her keys, she got to break in, that's her problem. But no, I sympathize with him, but it's the way you got to do stuff. And if he don't, he's only going to screw himself.
Yeah, you know what though, Wayne? See, that this conversation is going to screw her. I think somebody in the panel said that earlier, right? And it's going to screw her because she thought she was being smart, but actually, I read between the lines. She's a big dummy. She said within that conversation that she usually comes through the garage. But she said, I need my keys because I can't come through the garage because you just said you're going to change all the codes and all of that. She said they've been broken up for 2 years. He said something about the first week of December. I have a feeling that they was having a conversation about when it's going to be time for her to get out. And out of her own mouth, she said they've been broken up for 2 years. I bet you he been giving her time to get out, but she been in the streets thinking she was going to play him, go on vacation, hang out with other guys. So she felt like she was going to be able to do whatever she wanted to do and still live in this man's house. Well, she got because now he said he had enough. Everybody.
Well, don't forget about the messages that he sent her, and he told her, "You got until the end of
That's her
December."
notice right there.
That's her notice.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, that ain't a notice.
Yes,
that ain't no notice.
Yes,
You can't
yes,
just go. You got to have some papers.
He covered
You
his
got
legal
the
bases.
sheriff got to come and serve them papers.
No, they do not. No, they do not.
No,
Wait,
they do
hold
not.
on. Hold on, wait.
It's
Hold on, wait.
notified.
Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Kay, you're in the building. What do you want to say?
Hi, Diva. Hi, panel and chat. I just had to come up this evening. Um, this is so crazy to me. You
Mhm.
know, it is clear to me that this woman has been taking advantage of this man. Okay. And I would say that he showed some level of decency with her, that even out of her own mouth, that they have been separated, which to me, I'm like, hold on. She said we was never married. So how are you separated? If you're not married and you're separated, that means you're not together. You're no longer in a relationship. So why do you want to be in this man's house, in this man's face, come morning, come night? These people, clearly she enjoys a lifestyle and she wanted to continue this lifestyle. You know, if this was a man, we would be calling him all kinds of bums and leeches and everything else under the sun. Well, the same fits for her as far as I'm concerned. You know, um, even in the recording, if you're asking for your keys and he's not giving you the keys, according to you, this is your residence, right? And if you're going to need to call the police when you come back, then that's just what you're going to need to do. She was clearly trying to antagonize this man. She was trying to push him. I believe she was hoping that, you know, a tussle could ensue, that she could say, oh, he put his hands on me and, you know, something else. Everybody is trying to push for a lawsuit these days. And it's not surprising to me that that's where she's going to end up, at the courthouse, so she could, you know, try to, you know, get some money out of this or whatever. But I don't know what she thought this video, this audio is supposed to prove. But I agree with you. It really just makes her look dumb.
She told on herself.
She did. She did.
Not married.
But congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay. Dumb. And for him to not have known she was recording, he definitely was calm. And I
agree.
I think she was getting even madder that she wasn't rallying him up, that she was sitting there recording him. Yeah, it was messy. And then he finally said, I'll put the keys on the table. And then she had to admit that she was blocking him from closing the door of his car. He was messy as that. And he said, you wear my clothes, my this, my that. So I almost felt like you were still kind of playing him, but then was out there in the streets too. Go ahead, Wayne. I see you want to say something.
And for 2 years, I'm sorry, but 2 years, how long you expect to be in there? And you're not with this man. You expect to just continue to be living with him, and you're not in a relationship with him? Come on. I'm sorry.
That's crazy work. That's crazy work. Wayne, you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I agree, but at the same time, there's a way to do stuff. Now, what was he going to do if she don't leave? What are you going to do? All that, leave. Oh, I'm not leaving. I'm not. You're going back and forth. So how long is this going to go? And if she don't leave, so what's going to happen?
Well, the problem was why I was back and forth, Wayne, is because she was standing in the doorway of his car. He was trying to leave. She was standing in the doorway of his car. And then you see, finally, she said he slid the keys under her door. These two are in a toxic situation. But see, you know what, though? When I told you, that's why I'm going to, God bless the child to have his own. No, if I tell you to get out my house, you getting out. I ain't playing them games. The 30 days going down to the court. None of your mail will ever come here. Go ahead, Savannah.
Can you address Katrina's comment in the chat? Her position is that this is a common law marriage. I thought it was at least 10 years for common law.
They got rid of common law marriage, so it's no longer in effect no more. It went out of effect a long time ago, actually, about 5 years ago.
Listen, let me tell you something. There are rules to it, right? And I know about the squatters' rights. But what I'm saying to you is she hung herself up. See, you know what? You never win when you play dirty. And the reason why I'm saying that is because she said out of her own mouth that they have been separated for 2 years. How long do you think you're going to get to stay up in somebody's space and we're not even together? if she don't even have proof that she been trying to pay for anything, he said, you wearing my clothes, you wearing this, you drinking that, you doing this, you doing that. He said, come December, it's a wrap, baby girl. You're done. And how are you going to go on a vacation for months, but you can't secure no place to live? You's a whole fool when you about to get on somebody's plane and go on vacation, and you sitting here begging a man for some keys to a home. That just don't need. She's not responsible.
Was she even taking her kids with her? Like, I feel
That's
like
what
she's
I
not
didn't
taking care of
understand.
these kids, and that's why he want her to get out.
Yep. I'm feeling that way too. Because he said, he even said the kids could stay and you could come see them, but you ain't going to see them up in my house. He done with her. No, she roaming the streets and she thinks she could come back to his house, because it was also something about coming 3-4 o'clock in the morning, coming at home. She living like a single person in his house. And that's why he said, you wearing my clothes, the stuff I paid for. And then you out in the streets and you coming here 3-4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, nah, we ain't doing that no more, baby girl. She done.
And she probably bringing me in there because remember he said you ain't gonna be conducting business here.
He said that in the most diplomatic way. He sure enough did, and she didn't refute that either.
Look. If Fifi said, he said, I'm not bringing you into 2026. That's it. He done. And you know what? I'm not mad at him, but you sound stupid sitting there begging a man for some keys. Now, Raheem said, shut off those utilities. But he living there too. He's still living there. Listen, we're going to roll into this last story. And this one is sad. And I want to say a couple things before we get into this story. At the bare minimum, because I know life is expensive, but at the bare minimum, you got to have some type of insurance policy to at least do a burial for your family member. So the basics, a burial costs about 10 grand. I mean, get a insurance policy that's only 15,000, and maybe that won't cost you as much, but have some money to bury your family members. Let me go ahead and share a screen so we can get into this story. And I promise you, I feel like I don't even want to go to Mexico no more. Too much be happening. Let's take a look at this. I'm sorry, it's spinning.
It's a story you will only see here on WJC.
Wait, hopefully it'll come through, y'all, because I really want y'all to see this story. All right, internet, stop cutting up.
The search for answers underway now after a Maryland man visiting.
I'm going to give it another minute. If it doesn't play, I'll read the story to y'all.
Welcome back in. This is an exclusive story you will only see here.
All right, it seems like it's being bad. Let me share screen and I'll read it.
Can you refresh it, Diva?
I did. I'm gonna try to go back to it and see if I could go back to it, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it to y'all. Okay, so American tourist found dead in Cancun amid U.S.-Mexican tensions. So in a tragic and mysterious incident, 31-year-old Chaz Johnson, a Maryland resident, was discovered dead at an all-inclusive Rio Caribe hotel in Cancun on January 16, 2026. The circumstances surrounding his death remain unclear, igniting a complex and deeply troubling situation for his grieving family and highlighting broader safety concerns for tourists in Mexico. The incident comes amid rising tensions between the United States and Mexico over the issue of cartel violence, and U.S. policymakers push for the military intervention, which Mexico has firmly opposed. Conflicting reports and struggles with the Mexican authorities. Chaz Johnson, who had traveled to Cancun for a co-worker's wedding, was found dead under what initially appeared to be a fall from a balcony. His mother, Yolanda Williams, learned of the tragedy just hours after her son arrived in Mexico. I got a call around 1 o'clock that Chaz had died, that he had fallen off a balcony in Mexico. Williams recalls speaking to local news outlets. However, the details of his injuries have since been muddled with conflicting reports from Mexican authorities. Early accounts stated that Johnson had suffered a broken leg, but later updates suggested a broken ankle, leaving the family with more questions than answers about the nature of his fall. In days following his death, the Johnson family faced significant difficulties in communicating with Mexican authorities. Williams described multiple unsuccessful attempts to reach local police and hotel management, who were reportedly unresponsive. In one instance, a call to police station was cut off after the family explained they did not speak Spanish. They just would not talk to me, said Williams, voicing frustration over the lack of transparency. Meanwhile, efforts to retrieve Johnson's body has been complicated by escalating costs. The funeral director in Cancun reportedly raised the fee for transporting his remains after learning of an insurance policy, further adding to the family's distress. Despite the emotional turmoil, Johnson's family is not alone in facing such challenges. Cancun and other resort destinations in Mexico have been the site of several violent incidents in recent years, often linked to the country's notorious drug cartels. These events have prompted the U.S. State Department to issue a level 2 travel alert for Cantina, Ru region, advising Americans to exercise increased caution due to crime and violence. Oh, I would just stay my butt home. The death of an American tourist is not an isolated event. In 2024, gunmen on jet skis targeted a rival drug dealer on a Cancun beach, killing a 12-year-old boy, while in 2022, 2 Canadian tourists died in Plata del Carmen during a gang-related shooting. These incidents have fueled concerns about the safety of U.S. citizens in Mexico, especially as tensions between the two countries continue to escalate. While Johnson family grapples with grief and confusion, the broader geopolitical context looms large. The United States has recently intensified its pressure on Mexico to allow U.S. military options against the powerful cartels operating within its borders. President Donald Trump has publicly advocated for military action targeting cartel leaders and drug production facilities, but the Mexican government has rejected such interventions, citing violations of sovereignty. The standoff highlights the broader challenge facing both nations: how to address the cartel's increasing influence and violence without worsening the situation for innocent civilians, including tourists. Though specific military actions have not yet been outlined, experts suggest the U.S. efforts may focus on precision raids aimed at disrupting cartel operations. However, such operations have proven problematic in the past, often exacerbating violence and failing to dismantle the cartel's criminal networks. High-value targeting and low bust have done little to stem the flow of drugs, noted analysts from the Brookings Institute, who also warned that military strikes could provoke dangerous retaliation from the cartels. The cartels have already demonstrated their capacity for violence, with urban sieges, assassinations, and bombings becoming more common. Experts also fear that cartel may escalate their use of even more dangerous substances like, carnitine, in their drug shipments to the U.S., leveraging the increased chaos to create further public health crisis. In light of these developments, the Brookings Institute advocates for a more strategic approach, emphasizing increased U.S.-Mexican law enforcement, cooperation in targeting corrupt officials who enable cartel operations. Such sustained efforts could help weaken the cartel's power without resorting to military strikes that could have unpredictable and devastating consequences. For the Johnson family, the fight for answers continues, and they struggle not only with the painful loss of their loved one, but also with the broader implications of the U.S.-Mexican tensions. The family's experience serves as stark reminder of the real human cost of violence and instability plaguing Mexico's tourist destinations. I'll take a pass. I'm not going. But hold on, let me see if I could play this video because his mother speaks in it. And I would really like us to see and hear his mother speak. I'm going to try one more time. Why is this video being so mean?
Only see here on WJZ. The search for answers underway now after a Maryland man visiting Mexico for a wedding mysteriously found dead at a popular resort in Cancun. His mother now working to get his body back home and pleading for answers about his death. Our Janae Reese sat down one-on-one with the victim's family, who thinks he was killed there.
I'm in mommy mood, trying to get things done. I'm on the phone all day.
All Yolanda Williams has left of her son are videos.
Look how good it feels with me outside in it.
Pictures. And memories.
Took me out on a little lunch date afterward.
Williams says her son loved fashion, to travel, and was looking to become a dental hygienist after graduating from Baltimore City Community College in 2023.
This is him and my mom.
But on Friday, she received a call that her son was found dead.
I got a call around 1 o'clock that Chaz had died, that he had fell off a balcony in Mexico.
His last known location, the all-inclusive Rio Caribe Hotel in Cancun, Mexico.
The young lady Tierra, which is my uncle's daughter, had confirmed that it was him.
The only way she got information was by FaceTiming a family friend who was also on the trip.
So I needed her to call me. So she FaceTimed me, and I wanted to see Chaz, his body, but they wouldn't let me see. So she had to confirm that it was him.
So who was the last person to see him?
The bride.
The bride of
Yeah,
the wedding.
they were together, and he walked her to her room. So that was and then he left and went to his room. So
and I asked her, I said, are you, he wasn't out of it. He seemed out of it. She said, no. He seemed fine.
Almost a week later, Williams says no local law enforcement agency in Mexico has reached out to her directly about the circumstances surrounding her son's death.
They didn't tell us anything.
They said he had no defensive wounds on him.
Williams says her family has not received any official police report from the night in question, only video of the stairwell and balcony hours after the incident.
The impact on his body was from a fall. He told me, he said it wasn't from him falling down the steps. It was from him falling from a height. They first told me that his leg was broke and that he had damage to his face because they say he fell on his face. So, like, what is it? So that's why I was like, I need to get the police report because it's conflicting stories.
The cameras didn't point into the stairwell. They pointed out.
They pointed outside. And she said when she went back, everything was gone and everything was cleaned up.
Shantia Smith, Chez's sister-in-law, says as of Thursday morning, the family is working with the Mexican embassy on a potential investigation. But a lot of questions remain, including how they're going to get his body home.
Y'all dangling him in front of us like, hey, look, you can have him when you want, but long as you
gotta
pay
the money. His property, haven't sent it. When you pay the money, we'll send the property. It's the same thing.
WJZ did reach out to the U.S. consulate, and we did receive an automated voicemail and email. Rio Resorts has yet to respond to our inquiries.
He's my youngest, and my youngest son, and I just needed confirmation, and I don't want him there. I really want him to come home.
Reporting on your corner,
so that I can put him in his resting place.
I'm Janae Reese for WJZ.
Super sad. In my opinion, your thoughts?
My thoughts is we need to stay away from these countries because between what we see with no justice for Shanquilla Robinson, all Nisha Robinson, and between all the rest of the people that have lost their lives in these foreign countries, and then with this, tax that's being put on all these countries and the ICE detainees and being evicted out of the country, we need to keep our behind in our own country and keep ourselves safe because we ain't gonna get no justice. Because it seems like all the time they police report change and they don't speak no English when it comes to getting justice for America.
Mm. Julius, your thoughts?
I want to expand on a thing or two that, in my opinion, said
Mm.
we need to be vigilant. We can't go to other countries thinking we know everything and that we're the hot stuff. We got to go be in respectful of the culture. We got to know the laws. We have to do homework. Especially in these times, Americans are targets.
Mm.
We are targets. And so we have to know the places to be in, to be seen at all times, and to not know where to go. Just like that family that unfortunately we did the story on it that lost their daughter in the Dominican Republic.
I remember that one.
We have to be aware, and we have to know, and we have to trust our gut instinct, our conscience when it says do not leave this site. We haven't done that. It's time we start.
Mm. Thank you, Julius. Savannah, your thoughts?
I agree completely with Julius. It's what my position was or is as Americans, especially now with all the tension, political tension between countries, world leaders, and even within our own country. We have to be very vigilant. We must do our homework when we travel abroad. We are Americans. They have this blinded belief that they are protected by this invisible shield that I am an American. I can and do as I please and want, regardless of where you are. But in this story here, I think there's some holes in this story, and I'm not just going to put it on the Mexican authorities. And there's people that speak English in these cities and in these precincts or where there's the coroner or something, and the family can definitely find an interpreter, and as they did contact the embassy, and they would give them an interpreter or someone to work with them to get his body back home. But I think that the wedding party or whoever he was going to go visit there, there's some holes. There's something in this story that's missing, and I'm not putting it just on the shoes of the at the feet of the Mexican authorities here. I think this bridal party, something else happened, and even if it was an accident that he fell off the balcony or something, just doesn't seem right with this story. And for this mother to be, all she wants is answers. All she wants is her baby home. And someone is impeding her from getting those answers. And I don't think it's the Mexican authorities. They might be sloppy or not, doing due diligence like we're accustomed to. But there's something here that wedding party is not saying, or giving the mother the correct information as to what happened to her son that night. It's unfortunate. We have to be careful when we're traveling, whether it's within our own country or abroad. Um, just do your homework. Do your homework because it's not safe.
It's not safe, but the issue I'm having is whether the wedding party knew something or not, or someone in the wedding party perhaps did something. My problem is it's always a problem getting a body back. The young lady name is slipping my mind right now. I see her picture in my head. For a while, everybody was saying, say her name. Go ahead, in my opinion. You remember her name?
Shanquella Robinson.
Chantella. Her family.
Shanquella Robinson
Yeah,
with the Cabo seat.
The Cabo says her family had trouble getting her body back. Her family had trouble getting people to communicate with them.
And the police report kept changing on her too. The doctor was saying one thing, the police report said something else, and the people that came with her said something else differently.
Right. So I'm giving the side eye on how they handle the aftermath of things. And they said that area was cleaned up. I mean, of course, you're not going to leave it there, but in 2.2 seconds, the area is cleaned up and everything is just like nothing happened to him. I think people got to be careful too, because it appeared like, I don't know this young man, that he was part of the LGBTQ plus community. And sometimes them going places is even very dangerous. I'm noticing the other young lady, I don't know if you remember her name, in my opinion. Remember they propped her up on the toilet like she was
Onisha Robinson.
That one. They propped her up on the toilet like she was alive. That was another situation, and she definitely was part of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm just emotional about the fact that even when people travel to New York, because 42nd Street, the subway and all of that can be very dangerous in the city. I just feel like people should be protected, period, whether they live here or not. But definitely, if you got a tourist that's bringing money to your country, to your state, to your town, you really should be protected. And here he is at a nice resort, and in a couple hours after arriving, he's gone. It just don't make any sense. Callie, your thoughts?
Well, I don't know if I'm the only person here. I've been going backwards and forwards to Mexico since I was a child. I haven't been in the past 3 years. Mexico is beautiful. First of all, let's just put that out there.
Mhm.
But I don't know what exactly happened to this man, because we actually had a couple from here who was unalived by a hot water heater that was leaking gas. And they had this same problem. It took forever to find out what happened to these people. It took forever to get their remains back. All of these things. Mexico, yes, is a foreign country, but it is our neighboring country. There are some places in the United States where you can literally walk to Mexico. That's how close it is. Them having the issues that they have has been increasingly a problem for us, whether if we go there or not. Because we have, even if we don't go there, we have people coming from there to here, and we have people bringing things across their borders here. The entire epidemic that we had in the 90s and the early 2000s, most of that stuff came across their borders. Even if it came from below them, it still had to go through them. So Mexico essentially being ran by the cartel is a problem. That is literally our next door neighbor. And in my opinion, they're terrorists. In my opinion. I mean, this stuff actually happens to us less than it happens to the citizens. They deal with these type of things happen to them even more. And nobody does anything. Nobody is arrested. People are ran from their homes, all kind of stuff. Now, what may have happened to this man is that he may have fallen because something was wrong with the balcony, and they don't want to get sued. They don't want to have fault, so they're trying to cover it up. And so many people are corrupt. They're paid off. The not speaking English thing is BS. That's something that they do to Stonewall. People speak English there, especially people who are in official jobs.
That's facts.
Even people who don't speak it fluently, they speak it enough, or they know how to get somebody to like help, communicate backwards and forward. Again, Mexico is literally right next door to us. So all of this not speaking English thing, that's like a tactic to stonewall. I feel really bad for this lady. I mean, we can say, oh, he shouldn't have gone, but the reality is, I just know somebody that just went to a wedding in Mexico. I mean, this is something that literally people do every weekend. And I'm not saying that it's safe or that it's not safe. But yeah, I mean, I kind of stopped going because I got a little worried. I'm not going to lie, especially after what happened with that couple, because it wasn't violence. It was someone not having their equipment up to code, and it took these people's lives. So you have to think about that type of stuff too, because it's a very big possibility that this man did fall, but maybe he fell because something was wrong with the balcony. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is. The solution is for, I think for a lot of issues is for Mexico to function better. Because for us to be right next door to a country that's having all these issues is extremely problematic.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Oh, good God. Wayne, your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, they born in a country that got a whole bunch of problems. I think the people in Minneapolis would probably be a lot safer in Mexico. Mexico is a big country. Their tourism is up. Canadians are flocking there. I know things happen, but it's not going to stop people from going there. This should be a lesson for anybody that's listening. When you go into these other countries, do your homework. They have alerts. If you go online and check the embassies, they have alerts on what's going on in these countries. You go in these countries, you need to make sure you have some insurance. Because if you get sick over there, don't have no insurance or nothing, you're not leaving until you pay the bill. Okay, and to get this young man's body home, I know it's unfortunate, but do they think that Mexico gonna pay for it to send him home? They must be waiting on something.
No, they was willing to pay, and then they said once they found out that there was an insurance policy, they upped the amount that they wanted them to pay.
The Mexicans found out he had an insurance policy.
That's what the mother said on the news report. And then they upped the amount that they wanted them to pay.
But still, you need to do your homework before you go in these countries. Like Callie said, Mexico is a beautiful country, and I'm sure it's a whole lot of other places that people can go and vacation.
Yeah, there's a lot of beautiful places, but there's a lot of beautiful places that I ain't going to if I know up front. If I know up front something, there's a danger. If the United States is telling you they issued a warning to not travel certain places and you still go, it's just crazy work. Listen, I feel for the family, and I feel for the family and the mother, because at this point she's going to have to pay the price that they're asking for if she wants to get this body back home. It's criminal if you ask me, but they're in control pretty much. They got you by the balls, so to speak, where if this is what you want, you're gonna have to pay. What I don't understand is that he went there for a friend's wedding. You had to be somewhat close if the person invited you to the wedding. Why didn't those individuals try to get the stuff back to the mother? Now, his belongings. I mean, at least the Raggedy Cabo Six, they did bring the mother back the girl's belongings, and was crying on her couch with her when she passed or whatever the case may be. It's just a sad situation. I feel for him because minutes into this was supposed to be just a joyful thing. You go on to somebody's wedding, and the next thing you know, he's dead. Who knows what it was, if he fell off the balcony, if somebody pushed him off the balcony. A lot of people, unfortunately, these days to me too, they're unhinged. I mean, we just did the story yesterday. Like, what could be so bad that you fighting at work, Amazon, then you come outside and you having a whole a street fight with guns, and now somebody is dead and you're locked up. It's just so many people are unhinged. I am very particular and very careful who I go on vacation with, for the simple fact that I know that people sometimes they smiling in your face and they really don't even like you. So I don't just go on vacation with anybody. I don't just go on vacation like willy-nilly randomly, and I'm very careful about what I do when I'm on vacation and making sure that I'm with somebody that I could really trust. Just in case I pass out, fall out, something happened to me, I know they got my back. A very sad story. I'm praying for the mother, but my prayer is that she go ahead and break down and just pay whatever she has to pay. And not saying this right. Sometimes we got to do what's wrong so that we can make things right on our side. I hope that she just pay the money, get her son's body back home so that she's able to rest, give him a proper burial, and move on. Yes, it does. That's what I'm saying. 50 Gold. It reminds me of the Shanquella story, which was very sad. And it's always sad when families cannot seem to get what we know as justice, somebody actually going to jail and paying for the life of our family member. It's always sad when people cannot get justice, for things that happen. And then I think too, with this family, it would be hard for them. I don't know if they could sue maybe that resort, but then they would have to try to find a lawyer to sue. It's just sad. It's very sad. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me this Friday night. And it's late too. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, do the diva a favor, hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
Choo choo.